The Panos Skordi Encounter.
Hey, we're here today with Ioannis, who is an actuary in the UK. And we're going to talk a little bit about the state of affairs of the actuarial profession in the UK. Ioannis, welcome.
Thank you. Hello, thanks for having me. Um,
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
yeah, sure. So I've studied in the UK. I've done mathematics with statistics. Then I went to do an actuarial science master's degree. And then I've joined an insurance company working there as an actuary in a few positions, and then qualified as an actuary from the uh, Institute and Faculty of Actuaries, the IFOA.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
It was nice to have you here. Let me ask you a few questions that I'll be interested in. I too qualified in the UK, as you did. A little bit out of touch with what's going on there. So I've been in the US for quite a few years now. But can you tell us a little bit about the circumstances that the actuarial profession in the UK and Europe finds itself in with COVID and everything that's been going on recently?
Yeah, so it's actually it wasn't much affected like as a profession, because we're trained to like be agile with like working from home or collaborating over Zoom and Teams. So as a profession, no, it wasn't impacted with COVID. And if something, it even like got more demand, because the profession now is showing that it can work with different industries and different like projects, not just the traditional insurance ones.
Well, that's good to know. And we are an agile profession, and we're taught our exams are very varied, and I think it makes us very flexible. And I think it's paid off well. Can you tell me a little bit about the exam structure? What's the exam structure? Do you know what the exam structure is like now? Because it's changed so often. It's probably changed since I was there. So what's the exam structure like?
Yeah, so it's changed recently, a couple of years ago. So it used to be 15 exams, but now they merged a couple. So now it's 13 exams, and it's exams about actuarial statistics. So it used to always to have like statistical modules, and now they introduced the programming language R in some of the exams. It was really interesting because it goes to trend with like data science. Then there are actuarial mathematics and like survival modeling and yeah, stuff like that. So then I think they introduced Excel in some of the exams there. So it's two papers, one in theory and one in Excel. And then they have some business, economics, and finance modules. And the later on, the like that was the core principal modules. Then the core practices modules is about actuarial practice, about modeling, and about communication. And then you get the specialization, which can be either life, health, GI, can be investment, pensions, risk management. So there are another 2-3 exams there.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It sounds like they're on their toes and they're keeping abreast of what's going on. I'd be interested to just ask you a follow-up question on that. So do you know if the exams that have Excel as part of the exam, do you actually have a computer? You do the exam at a computer and use Excel, or do they ask you just about the syntax?
No, it's actually I haven't done the Excel exam because I passed the exams before the change. But yeah, you do have so all the exams are now online, to be honest, with COVID. So even like the theory papers are online in Word. So you get the paper and write it up in Word. Yeah, the Excel, you open a spreadsheet and you do the calculations there, and then you submit your Excel spreadsheet.
So I'm really happy to hear that they're up on Excel and R, they're bringing it into the exam. That's absolutely really good. And another little follow-up question is on the communications. Do you know if now, or when you were taking the exam, not now because we got COVID and most stuff's online, but when you took the exam, the communication, was there an actual face-to-face part, or was it all written? Because I know it's gone through
Uh,
different phases.
I think it used to have a presentation, but then it changed and now it doesn't have a presentation. You write up a report.
Yeah, it's great that they've done that. They're really doing very well in the UK with the profession, and in the US that we're coming along. Um, they've just introduced the UEC, University Earned Credit System, which we've had in the UK for over 30 years. So I'm glad to hear that the UK profession is not resting on its laurels and it's
Yeah.
continuing to develop it.
I guess something else to add here is I think the IFOA, the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries, has introduced a data science qualification as well now. I don't know much about it, but yeah, I think it's a bit focused on machine learning, big data, and a bit of artificial intelligence, I think.
Is that part of the other exams, or it's a separate
No, it's a
qualification?
separate qualification, yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's good.
Separate one.
That's great that they're doing that. That's really good
Yeah.
that they're doing that. On a different note, has Brexit affected the insurance sector in UK and Europe?
That's a good question and a hard one. So the very short answer is that yes, it did, but it's really hard to tell because regulation is still the same. It's Solvency II, but we don't know yet if it's gonna change. So we may have like an equivalent regulation and get equivalent status under Solvency II. But yeah, nobody knows until now.
Um, can you tell us a little bit? You mentioned Solvency II there. Can you tell us a little bit of Solvency II, where it's at right now?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, its regulation came in force in January 2016. So the main purpose is to harmonize the regulation in Europe and to enhance customer protection. So it's a risk-based regulation and it comes in three pillars. So pillar one is quantitative requirements, pillar two is qualitative, and pillar three is reporting and disclosure. So I can go a bit more details into the pillars if you want me to. Yeah. So pillar one, we have the best estimate liability. So they say that you calculate your liabilities with best estimate assumptions. And on top of that, you have the risk margin, as it's called. So it's the cost of transferring the insurance obligations to a third party in case the insurer fails. And then we have the SCR, the solvency capital requirement, which is the capital required to meet the obligations over the next 12 months with a probability of at least 99.5%. So that's the enhancement of customer protection. Pillar two, it's the ORSA, so own risk and solvency assessment. I think there's something similar in the USA as well. And yeah, the insurers need to identify all their risk and risk management processes and controls, and then the ability to meet the MCR and SCR over a longer period of time. And then yeah, pillar three is the reports required every quarter and every year, or some reports every 3 years under Solvency II.
And does it go through a lot of changes, this Solvency II? Do they have a lot of changes, or it's fairly stable?
It's quite recent, but there are a few changes as we talk actually. So there is a Solvency II review or consultation. So they're changing the risk margin, cost of capital that I talked about before. They are changing some adjustments to the risk-free rate as well. So yeah, there are constantly reviews and changes, and I think there is a increased focus now on climate related risk as well, to integrate those into the balance sheet.
Very interesting. So you mentioned the climate changes, and have you seen any recent innovations, or since you've been in the UK, any recent innovations in the market, any trends that you've noticed, any new products that have been brought onto the market, maybe products taken off of the market, or is it basically being fairly constant?
Yeah, so there are quite a few actually. Yeah, so it's quite a few tech companies now, or like insurers pricing motor insurance by the mile driven, or like health insurers using wearables technology. And so that's the tech trend. Then we have some that a hot product is savings and retirement now in the UK. So for example, in savings, there are some ethical investments that people want to invest their money in, or like invest their pension into ethical funds or climate related funds as well. Yeah, a product that was kind of taken out, and it's a big aspect of the UK market now is pension schemes. So employers used to have a defined benefit pension scheme. So when their employees retire, they would get a pension defined on the final salary. But now they stopped doing that, and they're insuring all their defined benefit pensions to insurance companies. So there's a big market for it at the moment.
So that's interesting that the defined benefits schemes have actually been now moved. I didn't know that, so that's interesting to see that there's these developments. So on a different note, what is the job market like right now?
So for actuaries, every insurance company would have an actuarial team, or many actuarial teams, depending on their size. Our actuaries would work in reinsurance companies, in consultancies, and now there are some actuaries in banks and even in the government, or doing like non-traditional projects, like climate related, or yeah.
That's and is the market quite liquid now? Is it easy to get a job? There's more sectors by the sounds of it, but is it more liquid?
Yeah, I think it is at the moment.
All right.
Yeah, because again, as I said at the beginning, the qualification is very, let's say, robust. So actuaries are trained and can adjust their knowledge and skills in different sectors, different industries, and different projects.
That's good to know. Again, it sounds like the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries are doing a fantastic job of keeping everything moving along. When I was in the UK taking exams, I actually went to City University in Northampton Square to do my master's there. Where did you do yours, by the way?
Oh yeah, in Herein in Edinburgh.
Oh, you went up there. Oh, you enjoyed the
Yeah,
cold weather, right? Edinburgh's
very good
lovely.
university and very nice city. But yeah, it's quite
Excellent
cold.
university. Excellent and excellent. I love it up there. It's fantastic up there. But when I was in the UK, it was the beginning of our university earned credit system, where you could go to university, pass exams. If you passed them well, you'd be given waivers from the professional exams. This system is now being introduced into the US. It's called the University Earned Credit System. And when I was in the UK, when this system came in, there was some employers at that time that would prefer not to take students that had actually been through the waiver system. But after a few years, that seemed to die out. And I was going to ask you right now, if there's a student that's looking for a job as an actuary, and do companies prefer students that have waivers from university, or do they want them to pass the exams professionally? Or is there no difference? People don't really mind.
Yeah, I think in the UK we call it exemptions from the exams. It's equivalent, maybe terminology. So I had exemptions from university from my master's, so I guess I am an example of that. I think many companies are different because, yeah, some companies prefer, I guess that's the case in the States, prefer to get the experience alongside with the knowledge as well, the theoretical knowledge. So they won't prefer people with exemptions. But most of the companies are indifferent. They would hire people with exemption or without.
Yeah, but I'm glad to hear that. Even when I was there, the initial prejudice seemed to die out, and especially since a lot of the actuaries that are hiring people right now, those hiring managers, they were actually at university and did get exemptions or waivers along the way, so they're not going to be prejudiced towards it. That's good to hear. You know, it's been great speaking to you. I hope we get a chance to speak again. So I can tell you guys that we're going to include Ioannis's information in the description. So if you'd like to contact him, we'll have a description at the end and you can contact him. This has been your host, Panos Skordi, on the Panos Skordi Encounter. Take care wherever you are.